the foot really is a miracle of creation. So if you look at the bones, there are 26 bones in the foot, and there are hundreds of tendons and ligaments that, so those ligaments between the bones, and these tendons, look over there, there's the powerful Achilles tendon, the thickest, the most powerful tendon in the body, but all of these other tendons account and help with pronation. And there are also 3 thick layers of muscle at the bottom. It's not shown over here, but you've got 3 thick layers, and then your plantar fascia that goes from there to there. And this helps with pronation. So when you're running, when you either landing on your heel, or preferably toe first landing, that accounts for 70% of the shock absorption when you're running. So just think about that. So when you're walking and running, so 70% of shock absorption is taken up by your foot when it lands. And if you think about the size of your knee or your hip or even your lower back, which takes up the other 30%, most of it is taken up in the bones and ligaments and tendons and muscles of your feet. And that is why it is so important to look at the feet when people have back and hip and knee problems, because the foot is accounting for 70% of that shock absorption. And this is why there's a whole movement called the barefoot running movement. And there's a really, really powerful book called Born to Run. I advise anybody who's into running to read that book, because it explains how important and how our feet have developed over thousands of years to actually absorb that shock, and then to actually release the shock when it lands. It kind of absorbs the energy, and then when you toe off, or basically when the foot is leaving the tarmac or the grass preferably, it's basically absorbing the energy, and it's releasing the energy so that you have more bouncing power. And it's really a lot more efficient than any shoe could ever be. That foot with its 26 bones and the hundreds of ligaments and tendons and muscles, really powerful muscles, are so good at doing that. But that is why sitting is really bad for you, especially for children, because that is when your feet are getting nice and strong. You see a lot of people that have played or haven't been very active when they were young, even with swimmers, with people that are predominantly swimmers and less runners. So if you, like me, were doing more swimming and surfing in your childhood, you have a tendency for flatter feet. So you actually need to strengthen those feet later on in life to prevent any lower back problems, because flatter feet help with swimming, because your feet are like this, but then you might have weaknesses in that pronation. So you might have weaknesses with that. So you can actually build up the strength of your feet by doing a whole lot of different exercises, and kind of sprinting uphill as well, doing periodic sprints to build up the muscles in your feet, to actually help the feet with shock absorption, so that there's less strain on the tendons of your knees and lower back, so that you can prevent any problems in the future. Thank you.